All right, Mr. TALIAFERRO TV, how's everybody doing? I thought this would be dope for you guys, so I went and, call me crazy, I went and transcribed this whole interview. So I got it all written in context because I can't play the audio, obviously, because of the BS copyright with YouTube. But I did go through and transcribe this entire interview Meek Mill had with Don Lemon of CNN, and I thought you guys would love to see it. Now, before I get into that, I do want to promote my social media accounts. I'm trying to get my followers up, y'all. I'm well behind in the followers game. And y'all can DM me all day and night. We can talk, you know what I mean? So follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all at itsmrtaliaferro. I'm just be honest with you, I gotta get my follow game right because we're living in a world where you cannot get opportunities because of your social media following. So it is what it is. I really don't like it. I'm not a big social media guy, but I gotta get my follower game right. Nevertheless, Meek did this interview, right? And I'm summarizing here. So there will be a couple words that I kind of clean up for Meek Mill. He's talking from prison, all right? You can't expect this man to have great grammar from prison. So I'll kind of summarize a couple of the answers that Meek gave, but let's make it clear. I am in no way going to take what Meek said and spin it in any direction. Not at all. So I won't do that. Not at all. These are Meek's words. These are his thoughts, his opinions. And I'm just having to summarize a little bit of it because the grammar was a little crazy a little bit at times with Meek. So anyways, Don Lemon asked Meek Mill, the DA supports a new trial for you. You are still being denied bail and you're now appealing to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. What are your feelings tonight? You know, Meek said, I try to keep my spirits high. I don't really get my hopes up from the courtroom right there. I feel like I will be free one day. The DA making the statement today basically knows something is wrong here. I don't think they're saying it just to be saying it. They're saying that for a reason. I think I will be able to get my chance soon. My time is coming. All right? Don Lemon asked Meek, do you think Judge Janice Brinkley should have decided your fate today? Pretty much is what he's saying. He said, I thought that was a little crazy. I try not to do too much negative speaking on her because my life is in her hands. I think people can see that that's crazy. If the DA is offering I get bail or a new trial, I think 60 days is a little outrageous. When 80 cases go in front of the judge, Janice Brinkley, on Friday, mine would be the only one heard in June. All right, this interview continued with Don Lemon asking Meek Mill, do you think because of the new evidence she will rule in your favor? Meek said, I don't think she's going to do anything in my favor. I never had anything done in my favor in that courtroom. I just brought my hopes down when it came to that courtroom. I was found guilty of pointing a gun at 2 cops at one time. I thought she would have ruled in my favor when she saw my face beating on that mugshot. Don said, you don't think this punishment fits the crime, I'm guessing. Meek said, I didn't commit the crime. I didn't point the gun at 2 officers. If you do a poll on CNN, the chances of a black male pointing a gun at 2 officers, I think the poll would be 98% no. They don't make it out alive, pretty much is what he's saying. With all these young men being killed for reaching for their cell phones, I happened to make it out from the ghetto and be on the road to success. That was lucky enough. You think I'm lucky enough to point a gun at 2 or 3 cops and not have a shot being fired at me? That's like almost impossible. Don said, do you believe your care represents a bigger problem with the criminal justice system here? Meek said, yeah, definitely. If I was those kids at Starbucks and got locked up for sitting at Starbucks by mistake and got a technical violation, legally a judge will be able to sentence me to 5 to 10 years just for having police contact. I don't think anyone should lose their freedom and not even committing crimes. I was locked up for a crime that I didn't commit in 2008. I'm in a state penitentiary right now because of that case. I've never been in trouble since 2009. I'm doing a state sentence for that right now. Don said, do you understand how big this case has become around the country? Meek said, I can't get the full effect because I'm in prison. We only see the daylight when we walk outside. We only get information when we talk on the phone or look on the news. I'm in the middle of a war zone where you really can't get the full effect. Then Don asked Meek this final question to get Meek to give that final say-so answer. Don said, what do you want people to know, especially young black men who come in contact with the system? Meek said, I want young minorities to be careful. I call it target practice. When you're in neighborhoods when people go to jail a lot, be careful and watch the way you move. You could be in a situation like this. You could be 18 years old and suffer from it when you're 30. I've been to jail 3 or 4 times over the same probation I've been on for 11 years. I was strong enough to lose endorsements and get them back. I was strong enough to lose fans and get them back, and keep believing in me and stay on top of my game. Most importantly, I want people to vote for people who's into justice reform, because minorities are the ones being affected by it. But we are not voting or holding any political presence. Now, that is Meek Mill's CNN interview with Don Lemon. If you want to watch it, I mean, I could put a link in the description or in the comment section if you just want to watch or listen to Meek's audio, rather. It's an audio interview from Meek, obviously calling in from prison. I think it's important for me to do stuff like this as well. You know, these are things that matter to me. I get it. I'm in a world by myself with the, what y'all call it, the YouTube community or whatever. I'm the only one coming with stories like this. I hope y'all take that in consideration. I really care about how our artists, let's get this out of the artist context, about how our young black people are portrayed, especially our young black men in law enforcement. A lot of stuff I see ain't right. Now, I'm not going to be these typical 30-year-old YouTubers out here that give y'all boot gang this and boot gang that all day. Sometimes we can talk about the beef and all that. It's rap. But sometimes, why can't we use a rapper? This is still rap, who's locked up right now for something that I don't know if he should be 100% locked up. The arresting officer in this case clearly had his share of wrongdoing when he arrested Meek Mill, or during that time frame. The brother retired simply because he didn't want his situation taken to trial. He was a dirty cop. Now, I'm not saying Meek Mill didn't commit any crimes. I'm not saying Meek Mill didn't point a gun at the cop. I wasn't there. I don't know. But I do think it's worth noting that this cop has been deemed dirty by investigation. And at the bare minimum, if my arresting cop was dirty, I at least deserve to be outside of prison while this all gets settled out. At least, at the bare minimum, I at least deserve to be outside of prison while we settle this out. You got child molesters, rapers, people who abuse their wife or husband every day of their life. They're at least outside of jail while they get a trial. And you're telling me a man that's already did time for that and now is on a probation sentence for 10 years, 10, 12 years, right, doesn't deserve to at least be outside while this entire case gets settled out and we figure all these dynamics out? Come on, man. I ain't no fool. I'm not trying to make excuses for Meek Mill. Y'all know I've been very critical of Meek Mill because I don't want to 100% get this black judge, this black female judge out of here yet, because we need black female judges. I never wanted to go as far as to assume that Meek was right in this, because I'm all about facts and morals. Now, it is worth noting that, you know, Meek is claiming, and I watched the interview with his lawyer with the Breakfast Club this morning. It is worth noting that Meek's team, and I'm just going in a whole deep dive here, Meek's team is saying that, you know, Judge Janice Brinkley asked Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj to go behind chambers. And that's when she asked Meek Mill to make a song about her. Meek Mill laughed it off. And the judge was like, no, I'm serious. Make a Boys to Men on Bended Knee, one of my favorite records. You make a record like that about me in a song, and it can help you out, pretty much is what he was insinuating. Now, it is worth noting, that was what Meek told his team that she said. Now, Nicki ain't backed that up. When she did interviews, you think Nicki wants Meek behind bars? I don't care if somebody cheated or whatever. I don't think Nicki wants Meek behind bars. As a matter of fact, she said that one of the worst things in the world was watching Meek's mother cry on television about her son being locked up. But if Nicki would have heard that judge say that, she would have definitely spoke on that in that interview she did with Beats One, with Zane Lowe. She would have definitely spoke on that. And Nicki's flatfoot said that judge did everything she asked of her. Now, that could mean either Nicki's line or Meek's line. I don't know. But I've seen Nicki's interviews. It looks like she's pretty 100 in them interviews, man. Almost to 100 in them interviews, right? So I'm just saying, we got the transcript on that, on what happened in those chambers. I didn't even know you can get a transcript, and maybe that could be a dirty transcript. I don't know. But in the transcript, when they went behind chambers, Meek Mill, Nicki Minaj, and Judge Janice Brinkley a few years ago when he was fighting for his probation then, or his life then, to not go to jail for probation, there was no mention of Judge Janice Brinkley saying, Meek Mill, go make a record like Boys to Men on Bended Knee. It was nowhere in the transcript. I read it word for word. I got a copy of it. It was never a mention of that. But if you want to argue that maybe they cleaned it up for their judge, I'll give you that. I'm not mad at that. Listen, I think Meek should be not incarcerated. I think Meek should be out right now. But I also want you to know the one person that was there. You got Meek saying she said this, Judge Janice Brinkley saying she didn't say it, and the one person that was in the room with them is not backing up Meek Mill. So again, you got an interview from Meek Mill with CNN's Don Lemon. Y'all talk to me about this entire situation. It's a tough one, man. It's a very tough case, and you know, Meek's going to at least do the next 60 days until June before this case is even revisited. Thank y'all for the time, Lil Support. Don't take it for granted. Salute. Amen.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now, you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty.